Live from New Mombasa, in the unpredictable multiplayer universe, this Spartan Life. With your host, Damien Lacedaemon.
Hey, this is our second webisode for SpikeTV.com as we move closer to the December 10th air date for the Videogame Awards. And with me on Audio Mayhem is DJ Octobit. So Samuel L. Jackson will be hosting when the Video Game Awards honor the best games of 2005. We've invited Mr. Jackson to join us on This Spartan Life, and we're just waiting to hear back. I'm sure he's just busy with this Hollywood stuff. He's gonna call. Also appearing on December 10th will be Charlize Theron, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Snoop Dogg, The Rock, and 50 Cent. It's gonna be great! Our guest this week is David Perry. Dave is known amongst game designers as an innovator. With his company Shiny Entertainment, he has consistently broken new ground with games like Earthworm Jim and Enter the Matrix. And Dave should be arriving on the 5:15. Oh, I guess it's not going to stop. What?
Yes!
How did you...
I did it right this time. There was one time I tried to do this when I was on a date. I jumped off a train and I thought that would look really cool, but
It did look pretty cool.
But I ended up rolling the whole way down the platform.
Ouch.
And I was covered in cuts and bruises and I was bleeding while I was sitting at dinner with her. So it is possible. Yes, I've proved it.
At least you had the armor on this time, in case it didn't work. I have a Warthog force down here. So Dave, I read that you started coding games when you were 15 in your native Northern Ireland. Is that right?
That's right, yes. Games didn't exist really in Northern Ireland. There was no one selling video games in stores. Gee, this place is pretty dangerous.
Yeah, I'm used to it, I guess. And so you were getting these projects published?
Yes, I literally would just sit at home, try to make something up, and then when I thought it looked good, I would send it off to a magazine, and the magazines would print it. Did you see that?
Yeah, come on up here. I'd like to finish the interview before we both get owned. So you were saying...
And then one day they just sent me a check in the mail for like $600. So you can imagine how much candy that bought me. That was really what got me started, was the candy.
And then caffeine, and then...
then alcohol.
When you say they printed it, do you mean literally printed on a page?
Yeah, in those days you had to buy a magazine and type the whole thing in yourself, and it would take you hours and hours of painstaking typing, and one typing mistake and the game was unplayable. We were still using like little 1K, you know, the Timex Sinclair, with these little keyboards, and you would type your games in, and in that 1K of memory we had stored a whole game.
Holy crap, 1K in this game isn't even a single bullet. Now, you're known partly for designing games for movies. What can you tell us about the Hollywood game industry relationship, and watch the rockets from below?
We've kind of flipped everything on its ear with our last game, because the idea being that we're not going to the studio and saying, can we buy the rights to your movie anymore? I'll never do that again. And instead what's happening is we're working with the directors, because they are willing to put time into games, they are willing to invest, and...
All right, Sherry. Sherry's prepared our escape to the top of the map. You've been working with the Wachowski brothers, and I know there are a lot of other Hollywood people getting into games now, right?
Yeah, the directors are diving in with both feet. So I think you're going to see directors, once they start playing around with our virtual sets, they're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it seems that way. So we're just going to sword cancel off Sherry to get up here. Like that. So give it a try.
Okay, I'll do my best. Ooh.
I hate it when guests are better at this than I am. But as a game designer, I guess you're pretty aware of all the crazy stuff that gamers come up with to get to places you never expected.
Well, I'd love to be able to have a little sort of camera on them and see what they're doing, but they learn the maps perfectly. And when you start to see that going on, you realize these people are going to push your game far beyond what you could ever physically do yourself. Like, you give the ability to do certain jumps, but it's really difficult to get from one place to another, so, you assume that no one will ever make it. You can guarantee someone will make it.
they can't help it. They're down there on the ground playing, and they're looking up at the mountains and buildings and thinking, I wonder what's up there. And then they discover some way to do it with some special jumps or boosts.
They'll find some strange combo if you go off this wall to that ceiling and you run across, and then that gives you the 1 inch you needed to get across there, and they get it. And then suddenly you see screenshots of your game from some position, and you're just like, how did they do that? That's impossible, you know?
I wonder if it also comes from an understanding of virtual worlds. I mean, if you think about it as a finite universe, then you want to find the edge. It's a funny thing, though, because when gamers get to the edge of a map, it's sort of like the Matrix.
Yep.
Check this out.
You're in like the construct, which is the white space, and yet you've got this little world trapped inside it. Whoa!
When I get to the top of a map, I half expect to see Morpheus there saying, "Welcome to the desert of the real." Either him or Slavoj Žižek. I've been hearing a lot about your new Matrix title, The Path of Neo. It's been nominated for Best Game from a Movie in the upcoming Videogame Awards. How did your approach for this game differ from your previous title, Enter the Matrix?
Well, The Path of Neo is a fun one because it never was a game based on that first Matrix movie. So we decided to make this the Neo game, and that's our message very simply. But we always have a twist, and that is you're not just Neo, you're also the One. And by making you the One, that means that you don't have to follow the exact path of Neo, meaning that he might have got captured or lost a fight. And what happens if Neo survived here or won this fight or kept going? Then now we have to write a new story, and because we have the relationship with the directors, that means when there's new elements that are added, they came from them, and we can hand and heart say this is authentic Matrix experience that will tie in with everything else that is Matrix.
I can't wait to play it. We'll be watching the Videogame Awards on December 10th to check it out. So I guess you got to get back to the construct now, huh?
That's right. Talk to you later.
All right, Dave Perry, thanks a lot for joining us.
Hey, thanks, no problem. Nice to see you.
That's it for now. See you next week. Octobit, take it out.